Good morning, readers. It's Miss McLaughlin. So we're going to jump into continuing reading chapter 4, Talent, in our story, The Year of the Dog by Grace Lynn. And remember, this was the part that we read in class when Mom was waking her up for school and Pacey didn't want to go to school. And she kept on asking, Mom, do I have to go to school? And her mother was like, yes, you do. And remember, it was the day after the new year. And Pacey asked her mother, will school teach me what I will be talented at? And her mother says, I'm sure it will. So remember, Pacey's thinking in her head about what her mother had mentioned earlier in the story about the year of the dog means that it will be the year that she finds herself. So let's see how the story continues as she sends Pacey off to school. I opened my mouth to retort, but a yawn entered and interrupted me. I'm too tired to go to school, I said. Better wake up, Kiki chanted. Better wake up, yeah, said Lizzie. Don't fall asleep in school. Mom poured me a glass of juice and I laughed. Did I ever tell you? And laughed. Did I ever tell you about the time I fell asleep in school? So readers, Mom is about to tell another one of her stories, and it's going to be about the time she fell asleep in school. So the author gives us that title and starts to italicize the words because it's a story that Pacey's mom is about to tell the girls as they're getting ready to go to school at the breakfast table. In Taiwan, school was different than it is here. School wasn't just to teach you about reading and writing. It was supposed to teach you how to be a good citizen as well. Every Monday, there was a school assembly. All the students had to wear their special uniform, a seaweed-colored jumper, skirt, and hat. It had to be clean and unwrinkled and as stiff as a piece of new cardboard. Then, in these uncomfortable uniforms, we had to stand outside in the courtyard while the principal and the vice principal and the school guidance counselor gave long and important speeches. They would just tell us how critical it was that we follow all the rules and worked really hard. It was so boring. One day, I had an extra long assembly. Not only was there the principal, the vice principal, and the school guidance counselor speaking, but they also had a special guest. He was from the government and was going to lecture us about how we should always do what we were told and have no questions to authorities. It was a hot and sticky day, and the sun was like an egg yolk frying in the sky. And hundreds of students stood like an army of ants. I stood in the very back, lost in the ocean of black heads. At these lectures, no one was allowed to whisper, like soldiers listening to the order of their captains. We had to stand straight with our hands at our sides, giving the adults our absolute attention. But when the guest speaker spoke, his voice was so soft I couldn't understand what he was saying. It was a low mumbling swaying in the courtyard. To me, it was like a lullaby. My eyes started to droop, my head started to nod off to the side, and then all of a sudden, I was asleep. When I woke, I was alone in the courtyard except for a teacher glaring at me with her hands at her hips. I had fallen asleep so soundly that I was still standing there when everyone had gone inside. Everyone had gone inside. They had just left me standing there asleep. So this is Pacey's mom in the middle of the courtyard, just standing there, had fallen asleep. And we get a little note at the bottom of the picture because Pacey likes to draw, and these are all her drawings. Mom asleep in school. And Mom's right there. Her head nodding and drooping to the side. The teacher was so angry at me. She put a big mark next to my name, and I was so embarrassed. Mom finished. But I never fell asleep in school again. You could You could sleep standing up? I asked, now wide awake. I could fall asleep anywhere, said Mom. I was very talented. Readers, have we heard that before? I was very talented. So, readers, I'm going to continue with chapter 5 in the next video, but I'd like you to think about, is there anything that is repeating that we heard? And what are the important parts in Mom's story? Thinking about the whole chapters that we've read so far. Okay, readers, I'll see you in the next video.